Hey, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Hmm. But you can hear me though? Uh-oh, it's frozen. Let me switch to power here. Da 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 da. Hello? Oh, you're moving again. Can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. Let me unmute you. It says Amy's iPhone is muted. Hello.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yay. It's working. All right, great. Okay, so I am just making sure that we are, there we go. Okay, I'm making sure it records well on my end here. But anyway, hey, thanks so much, Amy, for taking some time and for being part of this album launch. I'm excited that your song, one of your songs, is going to be on this album, There Rose the Lamb. So tell us a little bit about it. Actually, you know what? This is so bad of me. So a lot of people aren't going to know who you are. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are right now, and where you're at in this stage in your career?
Sure. Okay, so I recently graduated with my master's in piano performance at PCC. And so I just graduated on May 8th with my virtual graduation. And so I am this summer just teaching private piano lessons and getting ready for my new teaching job in the fall. I'm going to be a music teacher at a Christian school in Katy, Texas.
Oh, fantastic. That's excellent. And what are you going to be teaching there?
So I'm doing the music for the entire school, so K through 12. So everything from elementary music classes to orchestra, high school choir,
Oh my goodness.
everything like that. So it will be a lot of variety, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited.
Oh wow. Well, that's a lot of stuff, but you're well prepared for it. I did a little bit of background research on you before I accepted your entry. For those of you who don't know, who are watching, from time to time I'll run. Sometimes I call them contests. This one wasn't really a contest per se, but I don't want everything to sound the same, and so I like to get other people involved. And of course, Lori Lou Jones co-writes with me, etc. But then sometimes we'll get compositions from different people, and Amy sent several in, and I hope to be using some of those other ones on a future album. But then I just was asking around, okay, who is this person? You know, what's she like? And everybody came back saying, oh, she's wonderful. She loves the Lord. You know, it's great. Go ahead, because I care not only about the composition itself, but the character of the person behind it. So that's to your credit, Amy, that people, had good complimentary things to say. Let's talk about the arrangement itself. Then Rose the Lamb. Uh, Give us a little bit of your thought process as you were doing this arrangement, coming up with it. What was your process?
So with each song is a little bit of a different process. You know, people say it's like, okay, how do you start writing? Like, do you start with the lyrics? Do you start with the music? It honestly depends on what it is and how like that inspiration for it. So the inspiration for Then Rose the Lamb was actually listening to a lot of sermons around Easter time.
Sure.
And so I just had this, there was a sermon that really stuck out to me talking about how we always seem to bash the disciples for denying Christ. But if we really put ourselves in that situation, how would we know what we would have done?
Right.
And think about putting yourself in their shoes and saying, wow, I followed this person for years and I love them, and now they're dead. You know, we thought, the Messiah was going to take us away from Roman oppression. What is going to become of now? Because it's hopeless, and they didn't know the end of the story. We know the end of the story.
Right.
They didn't at that time. And so, and also us realizing that because of our sin, we deny Christ every day when we choose to live for ourselves and not for him. And so making that personal, you see that also in the second verse, making it personal, like I denied him.
Right.
Disciples denied him. I denied him. and it was my sin that put him on the cross, and I don't deserve salvation. And also, I would say just this, I don't know if I heard it somewhere, but Then Rose the Lamb, it just kept coming back to me. Mm. And so then that started that process of going to the piano, picking out different harmonies, different melodies, and just keep working at it. Honestly, this one took a long time, over months and months. I just kept working a little bit more. So, but it was neat.
Melody line that you came up with. So even if it took you a long time, it was well worth it, because that's really what attracted me to the song. I mean, the message, I actually, be honest with you, I get a lot of submissions. It kind of goes through seasons. I'll get nothing for a while, and then all of a sudden everybody sends me stuff. And I don't use a lot of it. And the reason actually usually isn't because of the words. It's because people send me some pretty decent stuff when it comes to words. And I'm not like the ultimate judge, I've got areas I got to improve on. I'm trying all the time. But when I hear words that are matched with a melody line that captures that, that da 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 da, then rose the lamb. That's a perfect line. But then the next line, no longer bound by all my sin. That's what sold me on the song, right there. So where did that come from? And what would you call that chord-wise? I mean, are you still up on your theory? Because it's been a long time since I've brushed up on my theory. But what chord is that? What were you thinking? I mean, I've got one way that I explain it, but how would you explain that?
Well, it really is the text painting. It's just like, no, this is emphasis. This is important. This is what I'm wanting. Yes, but because of that, that means something for us, eternal life. And so honestly, I would say with that one, I wasn't necessarily thinking, of course, yes, knowing what the theory was and what the chords are, but just really working it out. And it's like, no, what is the message that I'm trying to get across? I play a lot by ear, and so just working with it and finally getting to the results that I want. And then sometimes later I come back and analyze it. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Oh, that's this chord. That's this progression.
Right. Absolutely.
And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes I'll listen to a piece that I really like, and I want to know what that chord progression is. I'll go to something that I'm studying in my piano. Like one time I found this Haydn sonata that I just loved, this certain chord progression. I figured it out, and then I used it, then voiced it completely different in another piece to where it's hardly even recognizable, but still using that that chord progression because I liked the direction it was going, and incorporating that into your music.
Oh, fantastic. That's creative. And of course, classical music as a whole has so much depth to it that we can borrow from, even in writing music just for everyday use. We can delve into that. In fact, so many, Looney Tunes figured that out years ago, right?
Right.
That they could use that. So, well, one more question for you, and that is simply, what are your hopes for this song as people listen to it, as they experience this? This is our first time ever doing this type of thing for an album launch, where we're going through each song at a different day, and people can talk to the author or find out background information about it before they experience the song. So what are your thoughts and hopes as people hear this for the first time?
I hope that you can really put yourself in the story and just to see it. And I think you really capture that with the intro a little bit, and then just picturing the dark night, but then there's hope. Because then all of a sudden it turns, from minor going to major. It's like, yes, it's sad, but we have that hope. And just, I love how it builds, and it just becomes more hopeful as it repeats and goes on, and then the bridge, and then just building it. I want them to realize that there is hope. And I think that's such a message that we need to know for people to be saved. And then apart from that, living in the realization of that hope from day to day as Christians. And that's so comforting. If we live in the realization of the gospel, it transforms our lives. Amen. And our life.
Wonderful. Well, Amy, thank you so much for spending time with us here today. We appreciate it so much. And best to you as you go about this next stage of your life. I'm sure that we haven't heard the last of you here. And I've got several other of your compositions that I hope to use in the future. And this one just fit perfectly on this album. So I'm excited about it. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. All right. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to just edit the beginning and the end up a little bit, and it should be good to go. And we're going to do an album launch in August. And so
Okay.
all the people on my email list, this is something we're doing that's completely different than we've ever done before. So instead of just like releasing the album, it's
Mhm.
actually going to go in stages, so that like the first day, everyone on the email list by that time will get the song, but they're also going to get like a video about it. And I haven't decided the order yet. Uh,
Mhm.
yours might be first. Yours is one of two that I'm considering for first song. So it actually
Okay.
might be the kickoff. I'm not sure yet, but so this is a totally different way to do this, and I'm new at it. So hopefully it'll go well. But anyway, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You take care, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, bye.